I got it. And so then it was fine. Um, got over the initial anxiety about it. So I don't feel um
There's a couple ways it's going to go. Some people are just not cut out for making calls. They'll never be cut out for making calls, and it'll be something that you'll be like, all right, I'm going to work at Macy's, Bloomingdale's, right? Or the fear will go away, and then kind of get into this groove, and it's like, okay, cool.
yeah.
Look, after 20 years of 20 some odd years doing this and 16 years of calling, I still have to get myself to do it, right? Like
Hmm.
it doesn't come naturally, right? It doesn't come as like it does, but I'd rather maybe not want to do it, right? But at the end of the day, once I start doing it, if I'm not in a bad mood
Yeah.
in my regular world, it's cool. And when you associate making the kind of money you can and will make from doing it, like I used to have a cork board with like 20 commission checks on it. We double or triple the size of the check to like this big. And then we write expired, FISBO, circle prospecting. And then they go up there, you see 12,000, 30,000, 16,000, 8,000. You're like, oh, I'm going to make calls.
Yeah, I'm gonna make calls.
I'm going to make calls because
Yeah.
it's just so worth it. It's so worth it. And
Because like I had made calls obviously when I was working for my dad and when I was doing my other jobs as well. And it was always at just like initial, like, and then once I got over it and like, I feel like for me, I just need to know what I'm like, what my goal is. And so like, once I've figured out what my goal is, I'm good. Like,
yeah, and to summarize that, I mean, it's again real simple. Like, yeah, we're calling about the open house, but that's just an excuse to be calling.
yeah,
We're not calling about it. I don't like again, you're using that. I'm not looking for a buyer.
yeah,
You may say you're looking for, I don't know which one you're using, but I like the one, I mean, you could say, you know what, we're calling and because a lot of people who love living in town here, and a lot of people do, usually know someone who might want to come to town. So I'm calling to find out, who do you know that might be interested in taking a look at this house or coming to the open house on Saturday
yeah, that's
or
part of
Sunday?
the my script that I have.
And then they say, well, I don't know anyone. Okay. And before I let you go, the second reason is we know that when one house goes on the market and sells, like usually two or three in the neighborhood or in the town will sell soon thereafter. So when do you plan on selling? Always want to ask that.
Yeah, that's part
Always,
of
yeah.
the
Okay, cool. All right, so let's get into it because I have to get on a 9:30 call.
Yeah,
Um,
I wanted to let you know that I have it's for let me look at my calendar really, really quick. I think it's for GSMLS, the required training again for this MLS at 10. But you said you have to hop off at 9:30
did they tell you the time or did they give you options?
anyway. They gave they sent like a thing for
Yeah,
us to register.
yeah.
But they were
Whenever,
all in the morning though.
yeah, you gotta try to so here's one thing. I mean, it's gonna happen a million times in this business.
Mhm.
Everyone's got their own agenda. If you allow them to impede on your agenda, it's a dangerous game. Like the reality is this, like with home inspections,
Mhm.
your buyer's gonna say, "Hey, my home inspector, yeah, we can do it 9:30." Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm booked. Just tell them you're booked. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They'll figure this is your sacred time. Without this time, and you have, I'm being hard on it now because I want it to be something that is engraved now while you're young in the business to understand the importance of this time. Very easy. Like I'm gonna get on a call at 9:30 to take an offer. I have to
Yeah.
because the offers are due at 12:30. It's my listing. I can't be late or else I could be called out by the other agent. So I have to, this is a rare case where I have to stop my prospecting and I have to talk to this buyer. I happen to be taking a listing from her too, so I could kind of maybe justify it. But the reality is this: the mornings should be your sacred time for lead gen. And the least important thing, whether you know it or not, I'm going to tell you, is the MLS. The least important thing is to do their training. Like that is beyond lower than any administrative thing. Yeah, do you need to know how to use it? Yes. Could I take you through that in 10 minutes and show you? Yes.
Yeah, I
So
didn't think it was required for this, and then they kept sending me emails saying that I had to sign up, and I was like, okay.
great, but I can't do it. It's got to be an afternoon session. Period. They have to offer you an afternoon session. I'm just telling you that's
Yeah.
the mindset you need to protect this. These are what we call the money making hours. All from noon to the end of the day, you're like, well, that, yeah, I'm going to show people, and now sell a house and make money. Yeah, yeah. But the money making hours are described as the hours that you. I was talking to Jasmine about this, and it was on the thing yesterday on the thing, and hey, we're going to get into it. Let's just focus on this thing here. Day two, because we're going to run through 2 days in one thing. Leaders leading versus lagging. What you control. Is this the conversation we're having? I don't know. Let's see. Lagging indicators are the results that show up later, while leading indicators are the daily, weekly actions that actually create the results. Huh. I kind of think this is what we're talking about. Lagging indicators are the closings, the commissions. GCI stands for gross commission income, the volume. It's a measurement of how many, the dollar amount of the houses you sold, and the number of listings taken. Listings could be seller listings or buyer listings. You need a certain amount of lists. Remember when we were doing this yesterday?
Mhm.
This is the numbers, right? These are the numbers. In order to close 6 deals between March, April, and May, in order to close 6 deals between March, April, and May, you need 8 pending deals. In order to get 8, you need to sign 16. In order to sign 16, you need to hold 32. In order to hold 32, you need to set 64. In order to set 64, you need to talk to 1,280 people. And you're not going to do that. I'm just wrapping up and going back into day two, right? Um, you're not going to be able to do that if you're allowing other people's agendas to get in the middle of your money making hours.
Yeah.
The 12, it's a lot of contacts to have, a lot of conversations to have, 1,280 contacts between now and let's say the end of March. You're still going to do it April and May, but by then your April, May business should be in the pipeline. You need to create your pipeline. So lagging indicators versus the lagging indicators are the results that show up later, while the leading indicators are the daily, weekly actions that you actually create that actually create those things. So lagging is the GCI, gross commission income, the closings, the volume, the listings taken by our sellers. The leading indicators is what I want you to focus on right now, is the conversations you have, the appointments you set, the follow-ups completed, and the new nurtures added, right? So I love that you said, it becomes a little easier to make the calls when you know why you're making the calls. At the end of the day, we circle prospect for the open house, not to invite people to the open house. Yes, we are, but it's just a reason to have a conversation with somebody. It's a valid reason. Hey, it's a neighbor's house. And I love opening. I love opening with, that was really obnoxious. I love opening with, hey, real fast, maybe you can help me. We just listed your neighbor's home. Hey, your neighbor's home, not too far from you. We just listed it because it grabs their attention, and then we're going to stay on the phone with you, right? And then you get into your script. All right, make your plan visible, right? Standards plus the dashboard. Your dashboard is your command center. So Many, I believe, was alluding to this tracking system, which is on your dashboard. The appointment set, held. I am a firm believer, and I say this as a cautionary tale as well. I've had both sides of this very, very apparent in that when I track and obsess, I like to obsess a little bit. When I track and obsess on the numbers and keep them in front of me, I have an incredible life as far as the income, the results, the lagging indicators show up like there's no tomorrow. And when I don't, and I haven't, there's been periods of time where I just ignore it and I just go on autopilot. I struggle. So keep this stuff in front of you. Spot trends. Quickly identify what's working and where you need to adjust. You know, this is important. Find out what's driving the results, and when your leading indicators are strong, your closings will follow. There's no question about it. Activity plus discussion. Name your lead indicators. So we want to find out what they are, and then you want to identify them. Write them down. 2 to 3 leading indicators you personally own that must drive your spring pipeline. So, is it is it dials? Is it conversations or appointments? Um, in the very beginning, it's just the dials, right? We just want to get you in the habit of making. That's why we say 1,000 dial a day. 1,000 dial a day. That's why when we do our competition, and we're going to have a competition soon, not to go off track too far, I want everyone 1,000% engaged. I want everyone out in Arizona when we have our next winter circle. And I'd love it if we all got $1,000 in stock. That would be really cool, right? So that comes, the dials, the 5,000 dials is a metrics, is an indicator. Uh, but the real value is going to come when you have those conversations and when you set appointments. So the end goal is your appointment. End goal is getting a contract signed. You can't get a contract signed unless you have a sit down. You can't have a sit down unless you have an appointment set. You can't have an appointment set unless you actually have conversations. Look at your Brivity dashboard for the month and see which leading indicator is your best performing. Again, we're all new here, making it happen. So it might take a month or two to kind of get some footing on that. And then discuss, share it. Prompt of the week. I think this is the same prompt from yesterday. I'm not going to read it and go back and look. If you want to screenshot it, screenshot it. 1, 2, 3. Good. We're over it. Daily promise. We're gonna get you into a daily promise in a minute. Let's go to day 3. Build, because we are on day 3 for the week. Build your pipeline you want by spring. Pipeline transactions, your buyer scorecard. Ameni, read this for me.
I would maintain that thanks are highest form of thought, and that gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder.
Hmm. I would maintain that thanks are the highest form of thought, and that gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. Okay, it's cute. What are you grateful for today? Anyone want to share gratitude?
For brevity, it makes it really easy.
I like that.
Yeah.
Do you have an example?
Um, the dashboard. I I feel like now I'm getting to a point where I know exactly what I want when I go into brevity, and I've gotten to the point where I can do that. Or if I can't do that, I ask William or I ask Gabby, but I can figure out most stuff.
Okay.
Actually, I found out something else. On the agent call, they were showing a different tab that I hadn't used before, the opportunities tab,
Yeah.
and I was calling around on it yesterday. I got cussed out by some guy, but
Cool.
conversations.
Cool. I was listening to something yesterday. Who said it? Oh, some guy I don't know. He said, "You are 24 no's away from making $1 billion." Now, we can turn that into a 250,000, a million, 100,000. And when you frame it that way, because I don't know if anyone's ever heard this, you got to get through the no's to get to the yeses. In sales, that's a very common statement. We also monetize our no's. So if you track your numbers, right, and you get cursed out by somebody, and that's a no, right? You get hung up by somebody, that's a dial. That's a you pick up. It's a pick up, hang up, pick up, curse out, whatever. The idea is that the actions, the activities as a whole 2-3 hours in a clip, 2-3 hours in a clip, 5 days in a clip. That hole will say, okay, I dialed 700 dials in 5 days. And I had, you know, 53, 85 pickups and 42 conversations and 38 no's. But I got 4 people who are going to sell within the next 12 months. And one of them set an appointment for next week, or 2 of them, whatever. That $6,000 you make on that deal comes from the 5 days, 750 calls. It took you, 14 hours. That's how I value my time, how I monetize or look at. If I make $6,500 or $5,000 and it took me 14 hours, I earn $357 an hour. Does it take me another hour? Like yesterday, we did a presentation. Not really. We did a sit down initial conversation. Do I count that hour? I really don't in that. I could add that to it, and then I'm going to go talk to them in about a half hour, 27 minutes, right? So you monetize your no's, right? So what I can do is I could look at all of the people I spoke to that day, 42 people that week or whatever, and say 38 said no. So out of the $5,000, every no pays me $131. Right? Pipeline transactions then becomes the single place to see, right? Pipeline transactions then becomes the single place. So your plan shows up. That shows you what to do. Your edge is capturing and tracking every single buyer. The moment they sign, create a pipeline transaction to move them into from possible into counted. I don't really understand that, but I'm reading it for some reason. Sometimes my reading comprehension isn't that good, even if it's my subject. The total volume of all signed buyers, right? So you get to see it all in one spot. You're told, oh, okay, I see what they're saying. So this is basically your dashboard, which will share with you all of your information, all of your leading and lagging indicators. The weekly pipeline review, a weekly look at your pipeline transactions is how small gaps like missing signed buyers or weak volume get fixed, right? I was sharing with that earlier. When I don't pay attention to it, I'm just going on autopilot and I don't know what's going on. And typically that's when things don't go as well as I want them to go. Weekly, spend 10 to 15 minutes asking, are all signed buyers in the pipeline? Add missing agreements. So you can actually put these into your transaction pipeline. What's the total volume GCI potential? Compare that to your plan. So what they're saying here is like, as you build your pipeline of signed buyers, Jasmine's working with 1, possibly 2, 3, she's building it up. Whoever, when you're building up your pipeline, these are people who have signed buyer agency agreements or listing agreements. And now you have a pipeline. I have 2 listings on. I have 1 under contract. I have a few under contract. I have a couple coming on. So that's a pipeline. And now in any given section or sector of that pipeline, I could say, okay, this is the potential volume, potential commission. And it becomes a nice funnel. If every buyer closed today, would I be on track? And then you get to adjust accordingly. Take 5 minutes to review your pipeline transactions. And that's, they say weekly pipeline transaction habit. Like I say every day. Prompt of the week. We know the prompt of the week. Anyone want to snap it again? Okay. Who wants to make a commitment? Everyone? Okay. Who wants to go first? Who's off mute?
I can go first. My commitment today is to use the three dialers for Mojo and make calls for at least my goal is an hour and a half. And then my other goal is to, I started yesterday, but to finish a plan for a social media post that I want to make.
Okay. Who else?
I'm committed to following my numbers that I set for the week. Yesterday, I didn't hit as many contacts as I wanted to, or as my goal was set, but today I'll make up for yesterday.
Okay. What is your number goal?
So daily it's 66 calls and 8 contacts. Weekly it is 462 calls and 55 contacts.
I would suggest, friendly suggestion is put 20% on top of the dials so that it'll, if you do 80, 85 today, tomorrow, but then Friday you got to take the dog to the vet or you got to run to get your mom, at the airport or something. You build up a little bit of a bank.
Yeah.
So shit's gonna happen. Jasmine, are you there?
Yeah, I actually just put myself off mute. I'm committed to completing my calendar. I started it yesterday. Completing that today. And then I want to get one of my leads under contract.
Nice, nice. I am. What is this? The commitment for the next 24 hours to set an appointment. That's it. One appointment a day. If I could set one appointment a day, I'll exceed my 36 units a year. All right. I am going to make a phone call right now, and you guys can listen. Just go on mute. In fact, I want you to listen.